I can't lie to you about your chances, but you do have my sympathies. The screenplay for Alien is one of the most famous screenplays ever written, and it set the standard for decades to come. And so today, I'm going to show you why that is, and how you can make your screenplay to be more like Alien. I'm Carl T. Rogers, the story philosopher, an award-winning writer and director, here to teach you how to write screenplays like a director. So, here we go. Alien by Walter Hill and David Giler, based on the screenplay by Dan O'Bannon, story by Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett. You can find a version of this script which is not a scan, but is actually a typed version, but I really like the kind of gritty feel this has. Now remember, this is from the 70s, so the formatting will be closer to modern day compared to Maltese Falcon, but not quite as modern as we would have nowadays, especially because this was made on an actual typewriter and was not made in screenwriting software, so there's less spacing between each line, things like that. This script has some of the best lessons to teach around pithiness and writing visually. Of course, if we're doing a spec script, we're not going to have scene numbers. Interior, corridor to hypersleep vault. Wait a minute, it doesn't say day or night. Why does it not say day or night? Oh, have you figured it out? That's because this is a spaceship and we're in space, and so there is no day or night without revolving around the sun. So we don't have to put day or night because of that. Lights come on. 7 gowns hang from the curved wall. Vault door opens. 3 words conveys a whole picture. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, see if you can tell a picture with 3 words. Interior hypersleep vault. Notice how even just the word vault is telling part of the story here. You could have just said hypersleep room. No, vault. Had a lot of different words to pick from that shows the word vault because of the connotation that vault has. It's closed, it's locked, it's cramped, it is in some ways medieval and in other ways kind of scientific, especially when combined with hypersleep. And so that lends to the world building, it lends to the visualization, and it lends to the connotation, and is overall more descriptive than just the word room. Explosion, escaping gas. The lid on a freezer pops open. Slowly, groggily, Kane sits up, pale. Kane rubs the sleep from his eyes, stands, looks around, stretches, looks at the other freezing compartments, scratches, moves off. It's so concise, it's almost not enough, but it totally works, especially because of the genre of this film. This is a horror film in space, and was one of the first of its kind. Interior, galley. Notice galley instead of lunchroom or dining room. Galley, it's very specific. An area where you eat on a naval ship. Kane plugs in a Silex. Not really sure what that is, but perhaps it has some sci-fi meaning. Or this could be something from the 70s that they've updated to make it seem sci-fi-ish. We're not really sure. That's cigarette. Coughs. Grind some coffee beans. Run some water through. Rise and shine, Lambert. Even though there's no action in between this and the next Slugline, it's implied that these two people can speak to each other from these different rooms, so they're in some way connected. The rooms are connected, or the door is open, and they can see each other and talk to each other. It's almost like they're using this kind of like we would use a subheading now. Like the lid pops open, the woman sits up. What time is it? What do you care? But notice how they're doing something here that we would not do, which is having voiceover in a parenthetical. Because nowadays we would put it here for simplicity. Another thing that I don't like about this script is the rare use of question marks. These are technically questions, and so they should have question marks here. Now maybe they chose to put periods here to indicate the tone of the question, which I think you could do occasionally if it's imperative to the way the question is delivered, but to me this confuses more than it enlightens. It brings less clarity rather than more, and so I would prefer if there were just question marks here. Pot now half full, King watches it drip, and has the fragrance. Now Dallas and Ash calls out, "Morning, Captain." Where's the coffee? You can also show some of the storytelling that they're doing here, even with these very short sentences. He lights a cigarette and then coughs, so that implies that he lit it, took a puff, and is not used to it because it's been so long, and then coughs. If you also look at the fact that how first thing he does is
how to make coffee. We see how much coffee there is. We see him washing it. He's inhaling fragrance. All of that stuff is more of these storytelling things rather than the formatting elements. But the way that it's formatted supports the story being told. Two more lids pop open. Pair of men sit up, look at each other. Now it is odd that they don't specify here who the other two people here are. That is something that you would want to do nowadays. Pair of men sit up. You could even say pair of men in all caps, and then Joe, all caps, and Bob, all caps, look at each other. But there's so much to learn here from Alien that if you haven't read it, definitely encourage you to go download the script and take a look.
There you have it. Now, let me know in the comments if you have any questions about everything I discussed, and help other screenwriters that you know by sharing this video with them. And if you are ready to take action and finally get your screenwriting career off the ground, then click the link below and take my free mini course called How to Launch Your Screenwriting Career. In less than 35 minutes, I'll give you the 3 keys to success that you need in order to become a working screenwriter. See you there.